Well, would you look at this, I'm filming a video. Hey guys, I'm Natalia. So as you guys have probably picked up on from the first 5 seconds of this video, I'm in my new house. I feel like it has been actually forever since I've spoken to you and I feel really bad about it. I'm sorry. Do know that I was vlogging my entire trip in Asia, so you guys are gonna get to see that soon, so that's something to look forward to. Alright, so now I got that out of the way. So hey, what's up? So if you guys follow me on like my Snapchat or whatever, me traveling through Vietnam, Thailand, and Singapore may have looked like, you know, a dream, like really picturesque locations and everything was so perfect. Girl, you don't even know. Today's video is going to be a story time video about what happened to me a couple days into my trip where myself and my travel partner got scammed. So for a little bit of reference, my friend Fariz and I went traveling over to Asia for the very first time and holy crap, we had the best time. We were over there for kind of a little secret project which I can't actually tell you guys about, but it was pretty fucking cool. We knew that as soon as we started meeting up with the people for the secret project in Bangkok that we were going to be incredibly busy and would have no time to travel, breathe, and just enjoy ourselves really. Okay, don't take that the wrong way, like I did enjoy myself, but like being able to take it at my own pace was something I kind of wanted to do for a little bit of the trip. So we decided to fly to Bangkok 2 to 3 days early just so we could spend some time like exploring the city. I'd never been to Asia before and I'm like, I just want to eat all the food, to be honest, and I did. So basically I think it was on the second or third day we decided we wanted to go around and see all of the temples and kind of all the tourist attractions. Basically we wanted bomb-ass Instagram photos and we needed to go and get that sorted out. So traveling through Bangkok, there's a lot of different ways to get around. So there's like taxis, there's trains, there's all those kind of things. You can get on the back of a motorbike if you want. We decided that we were going to take the traditional tuk-tuk style. That's what we wanted. If you guys don't know what a tuk-tuk is, this is a tuk-tuk and it is actually the funnest experience in the world. And in order to get a tuk-tuk, you have to actually barter for it. So basically kind of come to an agreed price with the driver, with how much like we're gonna pay and how much they're happy to take us around to wherever we're going. So basically we'd already caught a train to a temple and we were just leaving. So there was a whole bunch of tourists around. So obviously there was a lot of tuk-tuks there waiting to take the tourists. So basically when we left the temple the first time, there was this guy waving at us really, really happily, but it was kind of like, it made us overthink and we're like, oh my gosh, maybe he's trying to scam us. Maybe that's why he's so keen to get us like into his tuk-tuk. So we went to this guy who was like super casual and we're like, hey, we want to get to this place, how much is it for it? He was like, oh okay, so where are you actually wanting to go today? And we're like, oh, we want to go like all these different temples, we wanted to see around, I don't know if you have any suggestions kind of thing. Worst mistake of our life. Basically what he did was he pulled out a map which already had the destinations pre-marked on it, which is something that I probably should have picked up on, but I didn't, whatever. So then he had everything already marked out and then the one place we wanted to go, he kind of drew it on. So like I kind of like didn't think about the fact that there was other things on the map we didn't actually want to see, but we kind of agreed that we were going to go see. So he pretty much said, we'll give you this loop, you can have the tuk-tuk driver all day and it's only going to cost you 40 baht. Now to give you guys some sort of reference from memory, 33 Australian dollars is 1,000 baht. So $3.33 is 100 baht. So 40 baht was like $1.10 or something like that. It was literally nothing, but still, that being said, that was a really, really cheap tuk-tuk price because we went from like one like block down maybe 3 blocks and it cost us like 200 baht. So 40 baht was literally nothing. I feel like that should have also been like a warning sign. Like, why is he giving us all of this for such a cheap cost? Like, I felt like that makes no sense. But Fariz and I were like, cool, we're saving the whole $1.20, let's get in. So we got in and the tuk-tuk driver took us to the first thing, which is the giant swing, and it was pretty freaking cool. We took a couple photos and then we went to the next one. So the next stop on the map was a private temple, so he said. And we thought that was pretty cool because we're like, hey, local experience, like if we were traveling like without this guy, we wouldn't have even known that this temple existed, so this is pretty awesome. We were so freaking naive. Basically, we rock up at the temple and it was incredible. It was absolutely beautiful and we're like, wow, this is awesome. So we're walking around taking a look at all the Buddhas that were around and then there was like kind of an inside area. So Fariz and I started taking our shoes off to go inside and then this guy comes up. He was a Thai ethnicity, but he spoke so fluent in English and the accent he had, it wasn't like any other Thai English person I had like spoken to on my trip. Why didn't I pick up on any of this? So basically he was introducing himself to us and asking us about our trip and what our names are and was teaching us some like Thai sentences and stuff so that we could speak a little bit of the language. And then he like told us like sit down and like admire the Buddhas for a bit and was kind of explaining the culture behind it. And then everything to me seemed completely fine. I was like, oh, this is really a cool like local experience. This is awesome. And then he started like talking about like, oh, what do you guys want to do? You guys going to come here for shopping? And we're like, oh, no, not really. We're kind of backpacking, so we don't really have like space for anything in our bags. And he was like, oh, really? Because like there's this warehouse and they're having their last sale literally today. And basically that's where all like the big companies come and they buy them super cheap and they're full cashmere suits, and that he'd gone and got himself and his wife one yesterday. And we're like, oh, that's like really convenient timing. Like that's really awesome, but like we really don't need suits. And he was talking about me. He's like, how much do you guys usually pay for a suit? And then Fariz was like, I don't know, like $500. And I was like, your girl don't own a suit, but if I had a suit, I would rock it. So I'm kind of thinking about this at this point. And then the guy was like, well, in Thailand, you can get a full cashmere suit with like everything like connected for like 200 bucks. And we're like, wow, that's actually really really cheap. But then we're like, yeah, we don't really need a suit, so I guess it's fine. We started talking about some other things we could go see, do, markets, whatever, kind of like let it go. The thing is, now thinking back to him talking about the suit, I remember there was a moment in my mind and I was like, why is he continuously talking about this suit? We literally do not care. But me being like the really nice person I am, I let him continue on and talk about his passion for suits, and then we kind of left. We walked outside to the tuk-tuk driver and I was like, hey, there was this like really cool guy in there like talking us through everything. It was super nice. That was awesome. Thank you so much for bringing us here. I literally had no idea that that was all part of the plot. Like this was a storyline and I was the main character and I was getting like punked right there. So we were driving from there and the guy was like, okay, we're gonna stop off at this suit shop. And then Frizz and I were like, oh, okay, sure, no worries. That's great. Because like at that point we were in the middle of Thailand. We didn't know where we were with this guy and we were like, well, as long as we're kind of in public, I think it's gonna be fine. Like really, like what harm could there be? So we rock up at this building and the doors are like mirrored, so we can't actually see inside the suit shop. And he's like, oh, and there it is. And then Frizz and I were like, holy shit, we are going to die today. So we basically walked through the doors and it was a suit shop. It wasn't anything too sketchy. But basically the guy was straight away like, hey, like what suits are you looking for? I'm like, no, we're not really here to buy suits. We're just kind of here. The guy dropped himself out the front. We're just gonna hang out for a little bit. That's cool. And he was like, okay, cool. And he came around like showing us all this stuff like bow ties, ties, all these different materials. And we're like, no, really, we're fine. We don't need anything. And then by the end of it, we kind of just walked out and they were super nice about it. They weren't all like, oh my gosh, like, why are you leaving? He was just kind of like, okay, cool, have a lovely day. And we're like, great. So then when we got outside, the tuk-tuk driver asked us like, did you buy anything? And we're like, no, we didn't. Like, we don't really have any space. And he's like, oh, okay. And then after that point, he kind of like shut down. Like he wasn't that same really happy tuk-tuk driver taking us to like all these different places. He was just kind of like, he's a taxi driver now, he's not going to speak to you, he's just going to go on his way. So after that point it was a little bit weird, but I was like, you know, it's fine, honestly it's fine. But then I thought about it and I'm like, Frizz, do you think that seems a bit sketchy that that guy was kind of talking about the suits and was super nice, it just happened to be there, and then we got taken to a suit factory? And Frizz was like, no, he was like a cool dude, he's just like a friendly stranger, like I don't reckon there's anything wrong. And Frizz was kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt. I had a little bit more, I don't trust people ever, so I was like, there's something really weird, like I don't know what's going on right now. So we went to the next temple, it was really cool, it was filled with tourists, so we kind of knew we were in like a safe-ish area. The temples in Thailand are just amazing, so I was like loving it. So then we went back to the tuk-tuk, and then when we sat in, the taxi driver pulled like a brochure out from above his head, turned around and like handed it to us. And he was like, oh, we're gonna take you to Thailand's #1 like suit place, and they sell all these awesome suits, and it was just continuously trying to like sell us suits. And because we'd already known what had happened before, Frizz and I were a little bit like, oh, this is a little bit weird. But then we kind of just agreed to it. I don't really know why we did. I think just neither of us knew what to say and like how to sort of get out of the situation, because we were seeing what we wanted to see, only we were getting diverted every 5 seconds. And it only paid 40 baht, so I was like, I'm gonna like win this out. So we rock up at this next one and it was super modern. Like I wouldn't have been surprised if it was a #1 suit seller because it was very clean, glass, it was awesome. So the tuk-tuk driver says to us as we get out, stay in there for at least 10 minutes for me. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, you don't have to buy anything, just stay in there for 10 minutes. And Frizz and I were like, we walk in the doors, a whole lot of tourists, like lots of them. There was no one that I could see that was of Thai ethnicity that was not serving. A lot of them were European. I was speaking to them and they were like from like France and stuff. It was just like everyone was very much a tourist. And then I went up to one girl and I was like, why are you guys here? And then she's like, oh, I need to come in and get some like tag things from the front counter to give to my tuk-tuk driver. And I was like, well, what does that even mean? Okay, weirdo. So we're walking around and then this guy comes up to Frizz and is like, hi sir, like you looking at buying a suit? Frizz is like, nah, I just bought one in Australia. I don't have space. I'm traveling. I don't have time. And then this guy was like continuously pestering him like, oh, why don't you buy a suit? Blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden he was just like, don't you want to give me business? As if it was like us walking in there wasting their time, when in reality, they're wasting our time. And so Frizz was like, no, like I never wanted a suit. And then this guy was just super like, so aggressive, like in the way he spoke to us and his body language, and we're like, holy crap, let's just like walk away. So then after that point we walked into like the gift shop section that was attached to it, because we were like, well, we've only been in here for literally 30 seconds and the guy said that we needed to be in here for 10 minutes, even though we had no idea why we had to be in there, but we were like, maybe we should listen to him, I don't know. So we walked around that shop for a little bit and we decided to leave, and at that point it had literally only been like 3 to 5 minutes. It was such a short time. At that point we walked out and the tuk-tuk driver was like, why didn't you stay in there for 10 minutes? And then we were like, oh, we just kind of didn't. And I was kind of like getting it at the same time, so I stopped like having the conversation. And then apparently he like shoved Frizz into the back of the tuk-tuk and was super mad that like we didn't buy anything, when like we never said at any point that we even wanted a suit. We were just like, we want to go take some some photos, be tourists. We don't want a freaking suit. So then after that point, he was taking us to the next temple. We were only halfway through our loop at this point, but I was like, there is something seriously off. So I brought up with Frizz and I'm like, Frizz, I really feel like this is weird because why are we being taken to all these places? There's only other like tourists over in these places and this guy's just getting super aggressive. We're not buying anything. Like, this isn't what we paid for. So what I did was I pulled out my phone and I typed in Bangkok tuk-tuk scam suits. I typed that in and I found a million freaking blogs talking about this. Apparently this is one of the most major scams that happen in Bangkok and people get done with it every single day, but I literally had no idea. So I was reading one of the blogs and it was exactly like word for word, going to a private temple, friendly stranger, taken to the suit place, taken to the next suit place. This is a thing that always happened. But then as I was reading down, we found out that the tuk-tuk driver that the other person had encountered started actually getting violent with them when they started like not wanting to buy anything and they were like forcing them physically to buy things, and I was like, I am not doing this right now. This is not happening. I am in Thailand for the first time. I'm not ruining my experience with some guy who wants me to buy a suit. It's not happening. So at that point, Frizz kind of realized that I was onto something and was like, holy shit, we need to get out of here. So we were like, what are we gonna do? Like, how do we get this guy to leave us alone? So basically what I said was, why don't we give him 50 baht, which is 10 more baht than what we agreed on, but it might be enough to pay him off to get away from us. Because like, I didn't want to give him the 40 baht and just be like, nah, we're gonna go now. But like, by him getting the 10 baht, like, he might be fine with it. Because basically what it said on the blog is that the drivers get commission for people who buy the suits from their tuk-tuk. And for that particular store that we had to stay in for 10 minutes, if we'd stayed in there for 10 minutes, he would have gotten some fuel vouchers. And because we didn't, he didn't get those fuel vouchers. And so basically he was pretty much getting nothing out of our trip. So I was like, Frizz, you need to take the money and you need to tell him that we are done, that we are going to find our own way from here. We're gonna go get lunch. We don't need him anymore. So as we got out of the tuk-tuk, we kind of like walked towards the temple and then we saw the tuk-tuk driver kind of waiting there. So we turned around and we're like, hey, like, we're gonna find our own way from here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Here's 50 baht, like 10 baht commission kind of thing for you. And he was like, you don't need me? And we're like, no, it's fine, it's fine. And it was like this really awkward exchange of like, okay, I'm gonna go this way and you can go that way, but yeah. So yeah, basically we stayed in the temple for a couple of minutes and then we decided we just wanted to get a taxi and get out of there because I was like, I don't want to see that tuk-tuk driver again. I don't want him to like have the opportunity to come and speak to us again. Let's just go. So yeah, we got in a taxi, we had our photos from all the other temples we visited and it was just too much at that point, so we went home and we went in the pool. And yeah. So that is how I got scammed in Thailand because I don't know, I thought I knew everything, apparently I don't. I don't know if any of you guys have been to Thailand and have experienced the same thing as me, but if you have, comment down below and let me know, because it's actually a lot more common than you think. So yeah, one thing I would say to take out of this is to be very, very careful when traveling. You could go there super confidently, but you honestly don't know what you're getting yourself into, so just, I don't know, just be very careful, okay? That being said, it hasn't tarnished like my view on Thailand. I freaking love Thailand and I want to go back. So that's it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this story time, and if you did, make sure you hit the like button and let me know. Comment down below if you've had any experiences whilst traveling where you have been scammed, just to give me a little bit of a heads up before I go to any new countries. So just a reminder that my vlogs from Vietnam, Thailand and Singapore will be going live on this channel over the next week or so you guys should definitely stay tuned because holy crap, it was incredible. If you guys are new here and want to see more, I try to upload videos every single week, so you guys should probably stick around by hitting the sub button, I don't know. And that's it. So I'm gonna go and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.